Welcome back. This time we're talking about Sleight, a sort of sci-fi-ish thriller about a young man living in the inner city who just happens to be a very good street magician. Now, I love magic and illusion and magic tricks, card tricks. I love the whole street magician thing. I love stories about magicians and illusionists. So when I first saw the trailer for this film, I was very intrigued. And having now seen it, I will say, while it's not a great movie, it is a very solid movie that I found very enjoyable. The story focuses on a young man named Beau, played by Jacob Latimore, who I last saw in the very underwhelming Collateral Beauty, although it had nothing to do with his performance. Beau was once a very talented high school student who had earned an engineering scholarship and was on his way to college. But unfortunately, his mother passes away, and he's left to care for his younger sister, and he has to find a way to support both of them, and him going to college is not in the cards. What is, however, is magic. He is a street magician, and that's what he does during the day. That does not bring in enough money to keep a house and keep two people alive. So in the evenings, he sells drugs for a local dealer named Angelo, played by Dulé, best known for his role in Psych. All Beau really wants to do is find a way to get enough money to get him and his sister out of this situation. He doesn't enjoy selling drugs. He doesn't like that whole atmosphere. And he fears that it's going to sooner or later come back to impact his sister. But until he has enough money, this is the cards he has. And that's basically this movie. On the surface, it seems very simple. But I do enjoy the blending of genres that I'm not used to seeing. In this case, magic slash illusion, and sort of that inner city drug culture. It's a very interesting combination and one that I really enjoyed. Throughout the story, it's not one that tries to glamorize, gang culture, drug culture, but it also doesn't try to condemn everyone involved in it. It goes almost out of its way to show that Beau is doing this because he really has no other option. So I thought that was an interesting avenue to go with it. And I don't want to overgeneralize movies about drug dealers and the inner city, but a lot of those that I have seen tend to have a pretty heavy directorial hold over them. And what I mean by that is there's usually a lot of style thrown into the movies, a lot of popular music, a lot of fast cuts, and some kind of interesting ways to do transitions and everything else. In this case, it's a very low-key approach to the directing. You really get no style out of this movie, as far as if you were to see another movie by this same director, you wouldn't go, oh, that's the guy that did that movie. It's actually a very kind of almost slow-paced. There's a lot of fade-outs, which actually they kind of overuse it in the film. I didn't mind it at first, but by the time I get to the third act, it's like, okay, I've seen the fade out technique a lot. It almost got to the point where it was a little distracting, just the sheer number of times it was used in the movie. And that's one of my only real major complaints. The other thing I would say is the acting across the cast is a little uneven. Some characters are better than others. I will say Jacob Latimore is very good, and Hill is very good as this drug dealer, and in a role that I'm just not used to seeing him. I'm used to seeing him in that more comedic role, and here he plays a very dangerous and violent drug dealer. I really don't want to spoil the story, so there's some developments that I'm sort of leaving out, but I think would draw more people to this movie, because I've heard a lot of comparisons to, say, like Iron Man and Chronicle, and I can't argue against those. I would say I would add to the list, however, that there's a little bit of The Prestige, Christopher Nolan's film starring Christian Bale, where we get to see sort of the behind-the-scenes aspects of magic. Beau is this street magician. He uses sleight of hand. He does a lot of card tricks. But there's this one trick that he does that no one can figure out. And he has a real-world reason why it works. I don't think might not actually work in the real world without probably killing him. That's where the sort of the sci-fi element is more of a sci-fi film than a fantasy, even though magic is sort of the main theme. And I will say when that becomes more prominent in the third act, they don't really bother too hard with the rules on how that works as far as like real world physics or anything. But at that point, I was actually engaged with the characters and just wanted to see it and thought it would be really cool, and it turns out to be. So I really wasn't overthinking the physics when it comes to this movie. So, like I said, this is a film that blends some genres I'm not used to seeing together. It tells a interesting story about a character who is really in a bind, doing things he doesn't necessarily think he should be doing, but does because he wants to protect his sister. And involves a decent bit of street magic, which I'm a fan of and enjoyed seeing in this movie, and just really just had a lot of fun with it. I went in with not a huge amount of expectations, and it turned out to be a solid, entertaining movie. It's not anything more than that. It's not really anything less than that. It delivers what I was expecting, and I was expecting a fun hour and 50 or so minute movie, and that's exactly what I got with Sleight. So if you've seen this movie, what did you think about it? As always, you can subscribe to my channel, check out some other reviews, and until next time, I'll see you at the movies.